22 people were killed, including an RCMP officer. And I'm learning more information. More information is coming out about it that I didn't know about. And you know what really sucks of being retired? When I was a cop, I basically knew 100% of every case. I'm not explaining myself properly. I know about a quarter. I have to read it in a paper. Before, when I worked, you knew the story, and you laughed at the media when they got it wrong all the time. So there's going to be some things that I'm going to say that are incorrect, but I'm going off what I think and what my gut tells me because I used to be a police officer. 22 people were killed. Killer's name was Wortman. I don't like saying his name. He killed 22 people, including an RCMP officer. And what's bugging me is, and I didn't know this before, but the RCMP members involved are getting criticized for their job. And you got to be a sicko to not see what they did for you. And I'm going to explain it. This isn't going to come out right at all. But when somebody gets murdered, you hope that the victim put up some sort of fight and just wasn't, and this is the words that I can't find. You want them to fight for their life. You want them to at least have a chance to fight for their life. That's how I feel. And when I learned about Heidi and that guy killing her, I thought, yeah, okay, she didn't have a chance. I just don't want to see somebody go down like that without fighting. Being able to fight. So when I found out that Heidi fought, and I know I'm not explaining myself properly, but when I found out, it's not that it made me feel better. I thought, way to go. Okay, I felt proud. I felt proud of Heidi on that day because I just learned that she nearly emptied a magazine while she was fighting Wortman on that day. 14 cases were found in her police vehicle, which apparently, according to the news article, she got off 14 rounds. Nearly a magazine. She spent a magazine trying to save her own skin. Maybe it was a magazine. The magazines only take 15. If you count one in the chamber, that's 16. She could have had 2 bullets left. Or, I've seen it before, maybe she only had 14 rounds. But the point is, why'd I feel proud, Clint? I felt proud because apparently one of these bullets, or maybe multiple, I don't know, wounded the killer. Slowed him down. And I look at this whole incident differently now. Well, I never looked before, to tell you the truth. I didn't want to know the details because I'm a wuss. Heidi ran the shift that day in her little detachment. I don't even know how big it is, to tell you the truth. She was a shift supervisor. I don't know if that means she was acting watch commander, but the point is she was a supervisor that day. She had the most seniority, and she's arranging things. She knows what's going on. She's getting information. Well, she doesn't know what's going on. They're all trying to figure it out together. And she puts her team on the road to look for this bad guy. She has Morrison set up somewhere. She's out and about. And the killer, he finds Morrison. 2 or 3 shots, one in the arm, one in the other arm, one at the chest. He was wearing hard body. He's wearing hard body. Morrison had his carbine on his seat, which was just stationary. And I thought that was awesome, that he had his carbine ready. And he had his hard body on. And he had his hard body on because there was a staff sergeant in OCC that told everybody it'd be a good idea, and I think his name is Breyer. I'm not very good with names, guys. But the staff sergeant alerted everybody to put it on, and that's probably why Morrison did. Killer finds Morrison. Morrison thinks it's Heidi pulling up to him. Takes a few shots, hits him. Morrison is in bad shape. He drives himself to get medical attention. Seconds later, Killer sees Heidi, direct contact with her police vehicle. A shootout. Heidi dies. Killer gets wounded and flees in some kind of SUV. Kills another guy, hops in his vehicle, I believe, and takes off. Erd attends. They see Heidi and another fella that used to work with Heidi or knew Heidi for years. And this girl, Heidi was a cop forever, guys. She was moments away from retirement. That gets me. But this fella shows up and he sits with her for about half an hour. And his name was Darren Bernard, I believe. While he's sitting with Heidi, he learns that the ERT members kill the killer. There's an ERT member named McLeod. He's the passenger. And there's a dog handler named, and if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry, Hubley. They're looking for the killer. They're getting out in front of the killer, they believe. They're driving down the highway, I think. They pull into a gas station. Okay, think about this one for a second, okay? They pull into a gas station. Hubley's driving. When he pulls into the gas station, he gets out of his car and he's just standing there with his driver's side door open. And he looks at the adjacent gas pump next to him. There's a vehicle. There's a guy sitting in the vehicle. And Hubley, he can see a bead of blood going down his head, going down his forehead. Obviously, he got that from the exchange that he had with Heidi. And his first thought is, that doesn't make any sense. He's not even tending to it. Why isn't he tending to his wound? And why is he deep breathing? And then he looks again. And he's like, that's the guy. That's who we're looking for. He says to his partner, McLeod, in the passenger seat, McLeod, Benny, that's him. And at that moment, Hubley raises his firearm. Bad guy looks at him. McLeod exits the vehicle with his carbine. They set up, and Hubley says something like he, with his right hand, grabbed a gun and started raising it up. And he recognized the gun right away, because every cop would. It's a silver Smith & Wesson. And he knew that Heidi's gun was just taken by the killer. Hubley and McLeod let him have it. I don't know how many shots McLeod got out with his carbine, but Hubley got off something like 12 rounds. And they just kept on firing. Because you can't kill him enough, you know what I mean? And I think about what these members think right now. Like how they're feeling now. Hubley, get this. Hours before, I don't know exactly when, but before this, Hubley goes to a residence. It's called the Blair's residence, okay? Mom and dad are dead. They're dead. The kids were hiding. They're alive. This killer hurt an innocent little dog. What does Hubley do? He takes the dog, gives the dog CPR, gives it to a veterinarian to get the dog better. And I'm thinking, me personally, you know what would be more traumatic? That scene. Going to that scene, not the shooting. The shooting is redemption. How do you think he felt? How do you think Hubley felt when he found out that he helped kill that bad guy? Pretty damn good. I'll tell you that. That is why you join. That is why you do what you do. That moment, which is a great moment, and all the moments that I just explained to you, is an unbelievable job. Morrison, Heidi, targets for the killer. They put themselves out there, made themselves targets. Come get us to save you, innocent people. Killer attacked them instead of attacking more innocent civilians. You look at Tim Mills and his job and how he did and what he did. Morrison, people like Morrison and Tim and Heidi, slowed down that killer so McLeod and Hubley could finish him off. And I know there's so many names that I'm not even listing. But you want to talk about a team effort? This guy would have killed more people, and they saved lives that day. Heidi helped slow the killer down so Hubley and McLeod could fill his face full of lead. There is a part I'm confused about, though. Brian Sauvé. I got nothing against the guy, okay? He almost helped me once in my career. But he came out after and he said, because Heidi didn't have her carbine, and he said, carbine wouldn't have made any difference here. It's more of a long range kind of thing. And meaning, bad guy and Heidi, they were too close together, okay? The best option, he said, is her firearm. But yet, McLeod was only 10 feet away from the killer, and he used his carbine. Now, what they're talking about is, and again, okay, I know nothing really, a quarter of the case, probably not even a quarter. Sauvé knows 100% of it. But I'm still going to talk about this part. And maybe one day I'll get the answer. But Heidi failed her Carbine Course 2 years prior. Carbine Course, guys. I took the Carbine Course. It's grueling, okay? I still have a sore back over it. I don't know. It was Monday to Friday. Every day, Monday to Friday. And what upsets me is that Heidi failed it. So a lot of people fail it. Not a lot, but people fail the Carbine Course. I remember when I was in Port Alberni and I'm a watch commander and it's Friday night. And another watch commander comes back. He pulls into the parking lot and I'm like, oh, hey, dude, what are you doing here? And he goes, oh, I just getting back from the Carbine Course. I'm like, oh, right on. Now you could use the carbine. He goes, no, I failed. He failed on the last day. Like Heidi failed. You could fail for a small thing, a big thing in their mind. Oh, somebody shot the floor. Oh, you're out of there, right? Oh, the last course of fire, you failed. And I think how stupid that they allow anybody to fail that course. And if I'm Heidi that day, I would hope, if I know that there's a good chance I'm going to run into a killer, and I don't have the Carbine Course because I failed it, I'm grabbing it anyways. You know what I mean? In the police station. Nobody should fail the Carbine Course. They don't leave until they pass it. Maybe you need to make it 2 weeks. That's an injustice. That's an injustice. She doesn't have her machine gun because she failed the Carbine Course. That's not right. And why Brian said, I'm telling you right now, I get crashed by a bad guy who's about to kill me. I'm going to want my carbine. I don't know, roughly 27 bullets compared to my 15 in a magazine. Bigger bullets. They come out a lot faster too. I want a machine gun to protect my life. My option would have been carbine. Would it have made a difference? According to Brian, no. So fair enough. But I find that hard to believe. That's all I wanted to say, guys. I guess my wish is that the killer died more slowly and I got to watch it. If you're going down, guys, go down with a fight. Good job, Heidi.